everyone, it's Miss Rossi. Today we're going to be creating some textured animals. What we will be needing today is some construction paper. You should have some in your art folder labeled bears. You can carefully take the label and the staple off because we don't need that anymore. But you should have some white paper and two different colors of construction paper. I have yellow and purple today, but you might have some different colors. We're also going to need a scissor, a pencil, a glue stick, and something to add details or color with, like some crayons and some markers. I also have some different animal templates on my Canvas page that you can download to help create the shape of your animal today. So I have one that is more of like a teddy bear, and then I have some other different animals from our storybook, like a bear, I have a fish, a horse, a dog, and a cat. So you can pick whatever animal you'd like. I think I'm going to do a teddy bear today. So I'm going to keep that paper out and put the rest to the side. Now, if you don't want to use one of my templates and you want to draw one of your own animals, you can do that as well. So today we're going to create an animal that is going to have some texture. So we're going to rip our paper into small little pieces before gluing it onto our picture to create some physical texture that we can feel. So our paper is going to feel different than a normal, smooth, flat piece of paper. And since we're ripping our paper, it's going to feel a little bit soft and fluffy, almost like a bear's fur or whatever other animal you are choosing to create. I'm going to put my crayons and my markers to the side for right now. And I am going to grab my scissor, and with my scissor, I'm just going to cut out my template that I'm going to use. So I am going to follow along that black line and cut out my bear. Now I'm going to use this bear as a tracer today. So once it is cut out, I'm going to end up tracing it with my pencil on my paper. As I'm cutting with my scissor, I'm going nice and slowly around that black outline, opening and closing my scissor, and turning my paper with my helping hand, which is my non-scissor hand. My scissor is always staying in the same place, opening and closing, while my other hand is doing all the work, turning my paper around to follow that black line. I am always making sure that my hand is far away from the end of my scissors so I don't cut myself by accident. Our scissors are very sharp and we want to be extra careful. There we go. I can throw out my scraps, and I am going to grab one of my white pieces of paper and put the rest to the side. Now I am just going to trace my bear with my pencil onto my white paper. So I'm carefully going to hold down my bear with one hand so it doesn't move, and follow around the edge with my other hand. Now, if you're drawing your own animal and not using one of my templates, you can just draw with your pencil straight onto your white paper whatever animal you want. You want to make sure that it is nice and big and takes up most of your paper. I'm carefully going to go around all the edges on my bear until it is fully traced onto my paper. Once I have it traced, I can get rid of my template because I don't need that anymore, and now I have my bear shape that I'm going to use for my project. And I am going to grab my two colored pieces of construction paper. Now with these papers, I'm going to decide what color I want my bear to be. I think I am going to make a purple bear, and I'm going to give it some yellow details, maybe a yellow tummy. So I'm going to save that yellow paper for later and hold on to my purple paper for now. Now we are going to fill in our animal with torn pieces of paper. So I am going to tear up my purple paper into little pieces that I can use to fill in the space of my bear. So as I am tearing, I can start to lay those out inside my bear. I want a lot of little ripped pieces of paper to fill in the shape. And as I start to layer and build my bear shape with those torn pieces of paper, I'm going to be able to create some texture. So my bear is going to seem like it almost has fur. It's going to be bumpy and lumpy, and it's going to feel different than the plain white background we're going to have in the back. So I'm going to rip little pieces. Once I have enough, I can take my glue stick and start to add glue. Now I think it is easy to work in small sections. So if you rip a bunch of pieces of paper, add a little bit of glue on there, and then start to glue on your papers to fill that space in. Now, if I just went in and I put glue on the entire bear, it would probably dry quicker than I'd be able to get some paper on there. So I think it's easiest if we go little sections at a time to fill in our picture. Now that I ran out of torn paper to use, I can rip off another piece and start to tear that and continue adding until I fill in my bear. Now maybe you're going to want to have some sections on your animal that you want to be different colors. So I think I want my bear to have a nice big yellow belly, and I might want to give my bear some yellow details on the face as well. So as I am doing this, I can use my pencil and draw out different sections to fill in. So if I want a nice yellow belly, I can draw a nice big oval in the center, and I know I can fill that space in with yellow later. Maybe I want my bear's snout to be yellow as well, and for my bear to have a little nose, so I can draw those things in too. Now we're going to go in and add things like eyes and mouths later, so you don't have to worry about that yet, but that will just help guide your gluing as you're filling in your picture. Now I could also go in and fill in my entire bear purple and then fill in my yellow later. It is up to you how you would like to do it. So I am just going to add a little bit more glue and continue to fill in my bear until it is fully purple. As I am gluing, I want to make sure all of my pieces are sticking, so you can always check to see if your construction paper are sticking down nicely to your white paper by giving your paper the tap test, where you pick it up and you tap it on your table and see if any of those pieces fall off. If they do, you can always go back in and add some more glue on there. So I am just going to go in and keep filling in my bear with all of my little torn pieces of paper. Alright, there we go. There is my little bear. It is all finished, so I'm going to put my purple paper to the side, and I'm going to grab my yellow paper so I can add those little details. So just like I did with my purple paper, I'm going to rip up my yellow paper into small pieces so I can fill in the oval I left for the belly, and I can fill in that little oval I left for the snout. And once that is done, I can use my white paper to add some eyes and a nose. So you can go in and add whatever kind of little details you would like to your animal by, again, ripping up your paper into smaller pieces and gluing it on. And as we're doing this, again, we want to make sure we fill in all of that white space. So I am layering my papers to fully fill in my picture, almost like we are coloring, but instead of using crayons, we are using our torn paper to create color on our picture today. That base all finished, I have my bear and I have those two little detailed sections all done. I'm going to give my paper the old tap test to make sure nothing falls off. Everything seems to be glued on there pretty well. I put my extra scraps to the side, and I'm going to grab that extra white piece of paper that I had, and on this paper I am just going to draw two big oval eyes and and a nice big oval nose. And with my markers and my crayons, I can trace over these little details before I add them to my picture. So I can trace over my eyeballs, and I can trace over and color in my nose. Now, if there are any other little details you want to add to your picture, maybe you want your bear to have a bow tie or to have a nice big smile, any of those extra little details you can draw on your white paper and cut out and glue on. So I'm going to carefully cut out the little nose that I drew, placing that on the snout, and then carefully cutting out those eyes as well. You can also just go straight on top of your picture once it is dry to draw on any extra details instead of cutting them out. If you want to draw on your eyes or draw on a little smile, you can do that too. I'm going to glue down the nose and the eyes that I just drew. There we go. And I think I'm going to add a little bow tie to my bear as well. So on my white paper, I'm going to draw a nice big bow by doing almost like a big triangle shape with a big oval in the middle. Then another triangle shape on the other side. I can trace it with my markers, color it in, cut it out, and then glue it onto my picture. You can also decorate the background however you would like. I think I'm going to leave mine white for right now, but if you want to add any extra little designs or details in the background, you can always do that. I'm going to give my bear its bow tie, and then it will be all finished. There we go. Once I add my bow tie on there, I can really see the different textures on my paper. The white background that I have is nice and smooth and looks and feels very different than the torn paper bear that I created. I can even see that texture difference in my bow tie, which is soft and smooth compared to the bumpy layers of paper that I have as well. Once you're done with your torn paper animal, you can upload a photo or video of your project on my Canvas page. I can't wait to see all these soft and fuzzy textured animals you guys have created. Try your best, have fun, and get creative, and I'll see you soon. Bye!